Is this what you look like when you are thinking of what to post on your social media? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can systematize your content. So stay tuned for that. That's what we're going to talk about. The real question is this: as a business, as an investor, as someone whose success lies in getting in front of the right people, people who will do business with us, how do we break through obscurity? How do we break through the noise? How do we showcase our message, our opportunities, and our offers in front of the right people? That is the question, and this show has the answer. My name is Raza Aziz. Welcome to The Bold Entrepreneur. So here's the thing. A lot of people who are using social media or to build any of their businesses, well, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're building. But a lot of times people are stuck with this ideas like, what do I post? Besides the fact that you, of course, need to know who you are posting it for and what is the purpose behind every post, you also want to have some way for you to be able to create some sort of a system around your content. And in this video, that's what I want to talk about. How do you go about systematizing your social media content? Okay, so let's talk about that. Grab a notepad or a pen. I always want to make sure I remind you so that you can make the most of this. And as you're going through, as I'm describing how to put it into system, pause this video so that you can pause this video. Of course, if you're watching this live, you can't pause it. I will be going like a train, but make sure that you take notes on this and be able to come back to this video and make sure that you apply it. It will help you with your posting and with your social media content. Okay, so let's do that. So how do you go about systematizing your content? Listen, every one of you, if you are an entrepreneur, you know that you are solving a problem in the marketplace, correct? And if you are solving a problem in the marketplace, then there's a process that you're going to take your customer through in order for them to get that ideal solution, right? Ideal outcome for them. So what you do is you want to write down, let's just say that you are in between calls, right? So you don't have a lot of time. I'm your ideal customer. You just finished one call, you're about to jump onto another call. And I walked into your office. I'm like, I need help. I need help with this particular thing. Help me out, please. Now, I'm your ideal customer, so you know how to help me get that transformation. What are the 6 to 8 things that you would walk me through? You would tell me, okay, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this, and so on and so forth. What are those 6 to 8 steps? I want you to write it down, right? So, however you help your customer, I want you to write down like the broader categories. Number 1, they have to do that. Number 2, they have to do this. Number 3, they have to do this. Number 4, they have to do this, and all that stuff, and kind of lay it out. Write it down in your notepad, notebook, and make sure that you have that. Got it? Okay. So once you have that, what do? Well, remember, I only have 90 seconds with you. So you want to make sure that you can give me all of these things step by step. And this is your system. Now, as far as you are concerned and putting your content inside of a system, this serves as the hierarchy, is that serves as the broader topics. Now, underneath each of those topics, what you want to do is when you're making notes right now, let's just say step number 1, you want to write down 3 subheadings underneath that, right? So step 2, you want to have 3 subheadings. Like, how would you talk about that? Maybe there's a story, maybe there's the reason why, then there's like, how do you do that step, and so on and so forth, right? So each one of those bigger headings, the 6 to 8 headings that you wrote down, you have 3 subheadings inside each one of them. Got it? Right? Hopefully you have it. And then what you do is you jot down notes under each subheadings. Like, what is it about this subheading? I'll give you an example. Let's just take step 1. Let's just say you help somebody lose weight, or let's say you help somebody with their marketing. Let's say you help somebody start a business. Doesn't matter what it is. But let's just say that step 1 is get your mind right. Maybe that's the broader heading. Well, underneath each one of them, what could it be? It could be like, why is it important to have the right mindset? So that's one. Number two could be, how do you go about having the right mindset? What are some of the things that a person can do to have the right mindset? And three, here are some of the book recommendations or his or story, like, something that you want to make sure that you emphasize inside of that particular point, right? So what do we have so far? We have a heading, we have three subheadings, and underneath each of those headings, we have a little bit of points that help us elaborate on that subheading. And you do that for all of the 6 to 8 steps. Listen, when I'm creating content, I always lean in on my system, on the system that I have created to be able to help my audience, and that's where the content comes from. Now, one of the things that many new entrepreneurs get in trouble with is like, okay, I've got this, but I don't know what to say, right? This is one of the biggest thing that I've noticed in working with new entrepreneurs is they don't study or they don't read enough books inside of their niche, inside of the industry that they're in. And I cannot stress this more for you as a new entrepreneur, as somebody who's yet to generate their first 100K in an online business or just a business. You want to make sure that you become a student of your industry. And when you become a student of your industry, you want to make sure that you take, like, whatever the problem you're solving out there, in your unique way, you systematize it, right? Like, you write down your system so that you can drive content accordingly. And listen, if this is new to you, you don't need to come up with this in like 5 minutes. Lay it out. And it's not going to be perfect right off the bat, but it will give you a starting point. And that's the important part. You want to have a starting point and you can keep tweaking it as you go. So what I want to do right now is I want to give you, in the next couple of minutes, I want to give you one tip about how do you fill content inside of these things, right? So you have the broader heading, right? So 6 to 8 steps. And inside each one of them, you have three subheadings. And then you have, little categories or little notes on each one of them. One of the things that I do is I like to batch my content in the sense, like, I dedicate a day, sometimes 2 days, to producing my videos. Like, that's my way of producing content. Once that is done, then it serves as, social media posts and all of that stuff for the rest of the week. So I like to do it in one day. Now, I just need to dedicate, like, 20 to 30 minutes to creating this video in an entire week. But one of the other things that I do specifically on those content days is I read books or articles on my niche, on my topics, in in that time, on that day. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, we were talking about mindset, right? Like, as step number one. So what I might do is I might look at my library and see if there's a book that I like on mindset. Well, actually, let me tell you one of my favorite books. It is titled Relentless, okay, by Tim Grover, right? From good to great to unstoppable. And I might read this. And as I'm reading it, I might find something that I want to talk about inside of this book, or from this book. And as I read it, it kind of unleashes my creativity. And oh, look at that. I would love to talk about this, right? So as I open this book, the chapter is Don't Think. I agree. Don't think, just do it. Right? So this is one way for you to start filling in. Once you've created your content map or the system, then you go about filling all of this in. And then don't worry about where you're going to get the content from. First, systematize it. And then there are many different ways for you to start filling the gap and start creating content. Listen, when you're creating content, this is my final advice to you. When you're creating content, you can't just rely on inspirational content or lifestyle content. The people who are following you, you want to help them solve a problem. That problem is not solved through inspirational content and through lifestyle alone, right? You can mix that in, but you ultimately have to give them the nitty gritty in order to help them move forward. Hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And if you do, I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love making these videos for you. Let me know if you love it too. And if you do, I'll continue to post content like this. Have a good one.